Zack Partridge. It was cracking.
What a weekend.
Great weekend.
Pretty good.
Hey, I know you sent me this one. I can't wait to launch it. Our intro to our YouTube videos is looking pretty freaking sweet. We have to make some adjustments because there was somebody that was highlighted in there that we don't want highlighted.
I don't care.
You didn't even catch it, did you?
It's funny. I think it's funny. I think the irony of it's hilarious.
It was pretty funny. It's the first thing I noticed.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I saw it before you did. I didn't catch it.
That's surprising too, because yeah, it was a great weekend, man. Great weekend of fights. Freaking Bellator was good. LFA was. Dude, I didn't even get to watch LFA.
Bellator was really good. Okay, for those that don't pay attention to Bellator, I think everybody knows who Paige Van Zandt is. Forget Paige Van Zandt. Her husband is legit.
He's legit.
He's legit.
Yeah.
What's next for him? I've seen Bellator start putting rankings next to their fighters. They didn't always do that, right?
No, they did not always do that. So
that's new.
Yeah.
So, like, when I'm looking at the rankings for him, because he's a welterweight, Michael Venom Page, he's just been fighting cans. Austin Vanderford's legit. Their number one contender fight for Douglas Lima, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
Is that fun?
Do you throw him in there already with those guys?
He looks game to me. He's an elite grappler.
I heard they're going to be doing a 135 tournament.
A Grand Prix again?
A Grand Prix for the 135 guys.
I like that.
Because they were talking about that Danny Sabatelli guy who came in on 1 week's notice and just demolished Brett Johns.
Mocked him.
Yeah, mopped him. All right. Jamba Juice after training is money.
Jamba Juice.
Orange Dream Machine.
That's so good.
Who else on that Bellator card was really good?
Chris Cyborg gets the late 5th round knockout.
Yeah, could it have gotten any later with 9 seconds left?
Dude, her suplex was legit.
Oh, she is
okay. Scott Coker. All due respect, I like you. You take care of the fighters. I know you're a promoter and you have to promote your fighters, but don't say asinine, ridiculous stuff like Cyborg's the greatest women's fighter of all time, please. Did you hear him say that?
No, I didn't.
When you say stuff like that, you lose credibility because it's like everybody knows.
Yeah, I mean, we all saw that. Oh, Big Luke's in the house. I can't get this. What's up, Luke?
What's up, Fiji? No, but like, I mean, I'm okay if you're saying she's the greatest woman to ever fought in the Bellator banner. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair. But to say that she's the greatest women's MMA fighter of all time, or you can even go as far as to say is, I think we all know now what would have happened if her and Ronda Rousey would have fight. Okay, that's probably fair. Like,
that's fair too. Yeah,
I'd give that. But don't call her the greatest women's fighter of all time. Like we all watched Amanda demolish her.
With her little resurgent Cyborg, because she's changed her style a little bit, I kind of want to see him run it back again. Is that wrong?
No.
I mean,
I think it happens so fast, and Cyborg, and this is I'll say the same thing. I said this about Conor with the Khabib wanting a Khabib. Khabib convincingly beat Conor. Cyborg got convincingly beat by Nunez, but I don't care what excuses you make. You got finished and you kind of got destroyed. But Cyborg also, for the first time in her life, experienced when she got cracked, bit down on her mouthpiece and tried to crack back and got cracked again. She's never experienced that. And if she would have been a little bit more composed about, okay, I just got cracked, I'm going to circle, regather my wits, and engage. Like, I give her a chance there, and I think that's something she could learn from and improve on, and I want to see that. And if she fought a little bit more of a disciplined fight, I think she was just so used to being able to overwhelm girls with her power. Amanda just wasn't having any of that. And I'm just saying you can see where there could be adjustments to be made to maybe close that gap, and maybe Cyborg could go 1-1 with her. I don't believe it. I think it's the same result. I just think it takes maybe an extra round or two the next time.
maybe Clarissa Shields has been helping Cyborg. They've been training together, I think.
That'd be interesting.
I could have swore I saw something with them training together, doing a sparring match. But yeah, she looked good, man. She looked real good. Not that the opposition was.
You text me before and go, Leslie Smith looks good, man. I'm like, what's she doing? Just hit pads? And you're like, yeah, pads don't hit back. Pads don't hit back, and pads don't hit back like Cyborg.
Well, and then
she was game though. I'll give it to her.
They panned the camera over from Leslie Smith to Cyborg getting ready to do her walkout and yelling her little war cry thing. Dude, I was scared. I just had to turn off the TV. Like, she's scary, dude. That. I know some female bodybuilders that have that deep of a voice too. Just saying. I'm not implying anything, but that's a pretty deep voice.
Well, that's why Ronda Rousey said she wouldn't fight her. She's like, no, you've tested hot for PEDs, dude.
No, because she would have got smoked. That's why.
Can both be true?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, can we talk about Josh Fabia and Diego breakup more? Now Fabia is saying that Diego took advantage of him for 2 years.
I saw that.
And that Diego threw the Chiesa fight. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one. No.
Fabia says that Diego threw the Chiesa fight because he wouldn't use the secret punch that he taught him that could kill him. And because he's a sportsman and he's not trying to be a malicious person to hurt anybody. That's Josh Fabia. Josh Fabia, this guy.
Was that the one that, like, the death touch one that he tried to tell the commission that?
Yeah. Yeah. He says, well, yeah, Diego's too much of a gentleman and a sportsman. He's not maliciously trying to hurt anybody. He's a good guy. So he didn't use it. And he goes, what other explanation is there that he didn't throw a punch against Chiesa? Well, Diego's 39 years old and Chiesa's a monster. I don't know.
Good for Diego for finally cutting ties. Good for freaking Diego, man.
So wild.
Should we give a shout out to Paul Felder announcing his retirement on live TV?
Dude, I like it.
I kind of thought it was coming. We talked about it on Friday, and I'm like, But Ellen Joban and stuff. You know what I think? I really do think this. I think fighters are becoming more aware, and then they're seeing, and it's these fighters that are working the desk, right? Yeah.
And then they saw Cerrone and the way he looked.
Yeah.
And then they're seeing what Diego's going through and stuff, and they're going, I don't want that to be me, man. Like, as much as I want to keep fighting, I don't want that to be how I'm remembered. Because guess what? Quite frankly, the longer Donald does this, that's how he's going to get remembered. Right? Well, how do we remember Chuck? How do you remember Chuck Liddell?
Getting flatlined
over and over. You don't really remember him knocking out Randy Couture and Tito Ortiz and stuff. I mean, yeah, you kind of remember that, but I mean, for me, it's like when Rashad Evans put him to sleep.
Yeah,
I remember that. You know what I mean? And like those fights, and Rich Franklin and putting him to sleep. It's just like
same thing. BJ, BJ.
But BJ's not getting knocked out. That's the other thing. BJ hasn't been like slept like that yet.
It's kind of,
but it's coming if he doesn't stop.
You know who else is going down that road, and he was in the main event. Is Cody Garbrandt.
No.
I'm telling you.
Nope.
He's been through too much. His last 5 fights. Too much, man.
I don't believe that.
I'm
we'll talk about that.
Anyways, yeah, we'll talk about it when we get there. But I think Felder, I think you're right. He's looking at, look, you look at that division and he's probably looking at those guys, which I thought it was awesome that he said that at the post-fight thing. About knocking out Charles Oliveira. He's like, I'm just going to leave with that.
Dude, Felder, never got to the top. He knew a title picture, like a title run wasn't coming.
I think he got up and beat the dude's ass, though, after that.
Yeah, he did.
He did get up and beat the dude's ass.
But, Felder knew that, being in the title picture, especially in that division, wasn't in the deck of cards for him. And at that point, it's like, what are you fighting for? Fighting for fun? Nah.
Yeah. No.
It's like, I'll just ride my bike, swim, and run.
Yeah, he's doing triathlons now.
Yeah, and sit at the desk and have a great gig.
He's probably making great money.
Fights.
Yeah. He's got his wits about him.
He's like, I'm good, man. And he's still sharp and he's great.
Excuse me.
But make no mistake about it, he could still get off that desk and give a lot of those young bucks a war anytime he wanted.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way you want to leave, right? With that little mystique of like, dude, he still had it when he left. Like he could come back. You know what I mean?
He very well could come back.
That's that. But no, you want to leave. I want him to leave and stay gone, but always have that like dude, he might not have beat some dudes, but you never fought Paul Felder and didn't know that you were in a fight.
Yeah. Anyways,
I like it.
Awesome.
He's an all-time. He was like an all-time favorite of mine. I love Paul Felder.
I thought he won against Hooker too, Fiji.
That fight happens in the United States or anywhere else and not Australia. He gets that W.
He gets that. Yeah, he gets the W. Props to Paul Felder, man. Good for him.
Really good career. Really good career.
So, all right, let's go through this card, man.
I'll just say this: we cleaned up.
We did very well.
We cleaned up.
It was a good night, except for the last fight, but that's okay.
I still was positive on that because my biggest bet on that fight was Rob Font would not win inside the distance. Any other outcome other than Rob Font winning inside the distance, and Rob Font, it got sketchy, but Rob never put him away. No,
yeah, it did get sketchy.
But anyways, let's start with Damir Ismagulov versus Rafael Alves. Went about as expected.
Yeah, unanimous decision for Damir. I don't know if he was like a -600. He didn't really look like a -600 to me, but
no,
a W is a W.
W's a W. And dude, so you're 23-1 at 155. He's got to have like some decent.
You got to get this. That's his fourth fight in the UFC. It's time to give this guy a ranked guy, right?
Well, he beat Thiago Moises, who's now fighting.
Who's 15?
Islam Makhachev, right?
Yeah, you got to throw him up there. And now Kevin Lee's out because Kevin Lee's at welterweight now.
Yeah, but so he can compete at welterweight and stay in the lightweight rankings.
Can he? Mm-hmm. Will he still stay there?
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, we have to run through that card. That's the UFC 264 is stacked all the way.
Crazy. Next up, we had I just got off the screen.
David Dvorak versus
against
Juan Emilio Ronderos. Remember, Ronderos took that fight on a day and a half's notice, cut 15 pounds, still missed weight by a couple pounds, but he took the fight like on 36 hours notice. Dude, he took a shot and missed, and
nothing to hang his hat on. And like we said on Friday, I guarantee you he's got another fight lined up.
Yeah.
For taking that.
Take a full camp and get in there. And I mean, it's a shallow division. He wins 2 or 3 fights and have a number by his name, right you know?
Yeah. Joshua Kulabau and Shailan. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I don't know, but we got it right.
Yeah, we were on Kulabau. I was some scary moments there for a minute there because that round 1 I thought definitely was Shailan's, and then he just faded.
Yeah,
China's not making a good representation in the UFC lately.
China's struggling.
Don't they have a PI Institute over there too now?
It's about to open or just opened last year, something like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going on over there, but you guys need to change something. Bruno Silva with the brutal knockout. Victor Rodriguez.
And that was another one of my props that I was really happy with is Bruno wins inside the distance.
No, we haven't got there yet, Fiji. We'll get on it. Barbosa calling out Holloway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll run through this card and then we'll touch on that. Next up, we had Court McGee. Dominant performance.
We pretty much called that to a T.
Yeah. Dominant performance.
Shut down that. A lot of people are saying this. Now it's like, now people want to see Court McGee more of Court because that's probably the best he's looked in a long time.
I thought so.
You know what's really interesting though is he said it. He kind of called out all the guys that he kind of lost to. He kind of took a shot at, at him because he's like, guys that'll come forward and engage with a war with me, I beat them because it leaves openings for takedowns. But guys that don't, they kind of stay on the outside and pick them apart. So Ben Sanderson, Sean Strickland, Diego Lima, like Carlos Conduit, like all those guys that can stay on the outside and kind of pick him apart, they outpoint him. But anybody that actually comes forward and tries to engage in a war with him, he kind of, they play into his cards a little bit. And Claudio Silva was game and was trying to, but dude, dominant wrestling shuts down high level jiu-jitsu most of the time.
So where do you see him going from here?
I don't know. I don't know. There's a fight for him that out there with another old vet that I think would be really fun, and Matt Brown.
Matt Brown would be that would be fun.
I think that's a good fight. If Court, I think that was Court's last fight on his contract. I can't remember. I know he doesn't have very many more, but a lot of people are wondering if this would be it for him if he didn't get the win. But then he comes out and just dominates 30-26, 30-26.
Phenomenal. Cardio looked good. Everything looked good. Wrestling was phenomenal.
His striking looked better. Shout out Shane Stoneman, who's been working with a lot of the local pros and Court too. And he was in his corner with Dana Aristobal, and pretty impressive performance by Court McGee.
Yeah. Shout out to Court.
Yeah. We love Court.
Ben Rothwell by submission. Chris Barnett. We both took a
dude. You know what? There needs to be another category. Exhaustion.
A goofball category.
Exhaustion. Chris Barnett was just tired.
Well, look at the guy. He's what did he weigh? 265 at 265. Come on, man.
5'9", 265. That's not a pro athlete. I'm sorry.
I mean, he's fun, but that's a guy that would do good over in like
Bellator,
back in Bellator, or even like over in Japan, where they like those kind of like freak show type.
Well, that's where he's been.
Like these gimmicky. Yeah, that's
that's where he's been.
Yeah.
He's been fighting people like wants to fight like
fighting a UFC fighter. I mean,
and Ben Rothwell, who, like he's had his ups and downs, but like he's still a pretty experienced UFC fighter. That Ben Rothwell is like, are you kidding? You're gonna pay me to beat this midget up, this fat boy up? And he's like,
did too.
Oh, okay. Ben was like, Ben probably felt like he didn't even have to train for this fight. He's like, if I knew that's who I was fighting all along, Ben probably wouldn't even train. It was a replacement, wasn't it? Didn't somebody? Yeah, late replacement.
Felipe Lins. Yeah, Felipe Lins.
Yeah, late replacement.
All right. So we're good there. Jack Hermanson, Edmund Shabazian. You were right. I was wrong. I was right for the first round, but then as soon as Jack Hermanson got him down, well, even Shabazian looked good on the takedown. I mean, he matter of fact reversed it, if I'm not mistaken, in the first round.
In the first round,
and then he just kind of was like.
The thing is, when you get somebody that's experienced like that versus a guy that's still trying to fill that hole in his game, is you can stop the first takedown, maybe the second takedown, third takedown. But by the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, like you're going down.
Yeah.
You're going down. And it's just, it's kind of that mindset too, that wrestling mindset of like shoot, reshoot, like until you get it. And then you can only stuff so many. And I also wonder with Edmund Shabazian, and it is interesting with the mindset, especially with my fight that's coming up too. And I look at it. Do you, when you're fighting somebody like that and you want to stand up, you have the mindset of, I can't go down.
Yeah.
Like this fight cannot go to the ground. Right.
Well,
and then once he gets you there, it's like, and he controls you a little bit, it kind of breaks you. I think if you have that mindset.
When he tried to jump for that submission, I was like, what are you doing? When he tried to get that guillotine choke in, I'm like, bro, like you just were getting your ass whooped. Like I didn't understand it. Yeah, not against a guy like Jack Hermanson. He's a beast.
Well, you remember when Homeboy tried to guillotine Jason South at the Fierce back in March?
Yeah.
And somebody was like, man, that looks tight. And I think it was the guy, I think it was Sean O'Connell I was sitting next to. He's like, man, that looks really tight. And I think I said it on the broadcast. I'm like, Jason South is not tapping to a guillotine.
Yeah.
Like, this guy's not submitting Jason. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not happening.
Yeah. Right, parade.
But yeah, I mean, Jackerman, I think Edmund Shabazian, by the way, okay, we're kind of crapping on him. He's lost 2 fights in a row now. He's 23 years old.
He's still a kid.
He's a kid. Like, he has time to fill these holes. Like, this is still a future contender. This
100%.
This is part of the journey, is learning how to fill these holes.
If he can, yeah.
And I'm actually still a long-term believer in Edmund Shabazian. I just think that we saw when he fought Derek Brunson, he's not on that level yet.
Yeah.
The problem is when you get up that high and you get that push, you don't get it. You don't fight a Derek Brunson and they're like, oh, you're not ready. Cool. We're going to start feeding you to a bunch of unranked guys again. It's like, no, you're in the mix now, dude. Figure it out.
It'd be interesting if they threw him a guy like even like a Till or a Jared Cannonier, somebody that's not gonna take him down like that. How would he fare against one of those guys?
But see, dude, I think Cannonier murders him and Till murders him, because if they start feeling like they're canceling out each other on their feet, both of them have the ability to take it to the ground where they know he's a fish out of water. Do
you think they brought him in too quick?
Yeah, I think the UFC makes that mistake a lot. Well, I don't know if it's a mistake.
They shouldn't have threw him in with a.
I don't know if it's a mistake, because if he rises to the occasion, now you got a superstar.
Yeah, that's true. But he was number 10, and then he just gets demolished by Brunson. Why are you going to throw him in against a number 7 against Hermanson?
Because he feels like he's right there. He took the fight. He feels like he's right there.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not mad at it. Okay. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Because look at the way they're trying to bring along Sean O'Malley, and everybody's like, oh, like they're just feeding him patty cakes. No, they're building him correctly. Yep. Edmund Shabazian, there's 2 paths there. And for whatever reason, I feel like they put some people down like an expedited path, and then some people they try and slowly build.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me to see. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right though. I mean, it's a gamble.
But it could be a learning
superstar. Yeah, it could be a learning experience for the kid, and he's just been in 2 tough fights, and now he comes back and he could rewrite the ship. And
dude, he could win he could go on another 3 or 4 fight win streak for sure. He's got the talent. Like you see it. You saw it in the first round against Jack Hermanson.
Oh yeah, he's striking.
He's talented.
Next up we had Ricardo Ramos and Bill Algeo.
My first one that I missed of the night.
Dude, I was like almost there to put my bet in against Ramos right before the fight started. I'm like, nah, I'm going to lay off this one. I just didn't have a good feel.
My first one that I missed of the night.
It's all right. It's all right. It's a good fight. Good fun fight.
I like Bill Algeo.
I like both those guys.
I like Ramos too. Yeah. Hey, we did get a nice little upset special though.
Did we?
Norma Dumont.
Oh, cash it. She looked good. She looked pretty good.
I thought she won all 3 rounds. The split decision, or 2 rounds. The split decision. Get out of here.
Is that up on the? Oh, it is. Yeah. Who is this minor guy? This minor guy gives Spencer a 28-29, and D'Amato gives freaking Dumont 30-20. How does that happen? Come on. What fight are you watching, dude?
I don't
Split
know.
decision.
Dude,
come on.
Dumont's striking was really
she looked
really good. And they said, dude, she's trying to make her way down to 135 too, but they're just bringing her down like slowly, which is so smart. Like she's working at the Vegas. She's moved her camp to Vegas so she can work at the PI, because they're helping with her diet to make her more natural bantamweight so she can make that weight cut the correct way. What a great asset. And for people, again, this is one of those things where people are like, oh, Dana doesn't do enough for the fighters. He gives them these PI centers, and he's putting them all around the world with world-class nutritionists, physical therapy, rehab, all this stuff to give them for free, right? For free. They don't have to pay.
They can eat for free there too.
They could live there basically.
Yeah, they can live there.
They have little like napping compartments in cabin areas too. So, and she's taking advantage of that. I actually think Norma Dumont is somebody that could make some noise in the future. She's in the sweet spot for me, right?
Yeah.
Because I think she's gonna be coming on her rise right as Nunez starts to call it a day and calls it a career. And like I think you could see her kind of be that next wave of. I like her. I'm very impressed with her all around skill set. I like Norma Dumont.
Oh, she's on a 2-fight win streak.
And I like she's overcome some adversity. Like I like her.
Next up, probably fight of the night.
Another one that I was right. You were wrong.
Wrong. Wait,
you picked Tafa.
Did I really?
You picked Tafa.
Oh, well, I bet on Vanderer, so my bank account liked Vanderer because that's who I bet on.
Because you're just betting against.
I think I was just betting against you. Jared Vanderer, dude, that was a great fight, fun fight.
Bloody is all get out, man. Shout out to the cardio for the big boys too. They did it for 3 rounds.
Them in the 3 rounds, they look like Fiji out there just throwing blows.
Dude, shout out to the big boys. Usually they don't keep that pace for 3 rounds.
That was impressive, and both those guys got some chins.
And Vanderer's blood is just pouring down his chest and his belly.
Did you see that punch that cut that? It looked like they were saying headbutt, but I think it was.
No, it was. I think it was he threw like an overhand, and it was like his knuckle, glanced off right there, and just split it huge. Crazy.
That was great fight. Great fight,
dude. I say this. I was not high on Jared Vandenera. I kind of thought that was a guy that probably doesn't belong in the UFC.
Oh, he belongs.
Eat my words. Like, dude, that's a guy that I'm like, man, if that, I was impressed. And you know what? I was impressed with Justin Tafa too.
I was too. He hung in there because those guys took some heavy shots.
Yeah. That's fine.
All right. Next up, we had Karla Nurmagomedov against Zayan Yan. Karla
Esparza.
No, Nurmagomedov. Karla Nurmagomedov. She's changing her name.
We were so wrong on this one.
Dead wrong. She, for everybody calling her a boring fighter, she just made everybody eat their words because she dominated.
Fun.
She was relentless, man. That was some ground and pound.
You think that girl wants to? Okay, so do you think she deserves a shot at Rose?
She deserves it. You got to give it to her. You have to give it to her.
I agree.
You have to give it to her. She's on a 5-fight win streak now.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5-fight win streak.
And
dominant performance.
Let's not forget, she holds the win over Rose the first time they fought for the title. I think it's a fun fight. I think it's a fight to make. Let Whaley and JJ, you want to run it back? Let these, I like it. I like it a lot. I like Karla Esparza's. I actually have never really been a fan of her, but that performance, I was like, she was one of those girls too, that when I'd see her headlining or co-main event, a fight night or whatever, I'd be like, she's just going to wrestle him and lay on him. That's when you go grab the food, go to Chick-fil-A real quick, whatever. Cause it's I know what this is going to be. She's probably going to win via wrestling, but dude, that she looked like a woman on a mission there. And that was impressive. That was impressive.
I thought Jan's takedown offense was going to be better.
Me too.
But it wasn't. Yeah. Took dead.
Me too. I thought she was, but it's not even the takedown defense. She just didn't even have an answer to get on a hip and try and get out.
Nothing. We were doing that this morning in training. Steve was showing me, this is how you got to get out of that, showing me how to get the hips and roll her over. I'm learning some stuff, Zack. Learning some stuff.
When are you going to come up and show me?
I'm not.
Oh.
All right, so we were dead wrong on that one, and we were dead wrong on the main event. It's not too often we're wrong on both the co-main and the main event. Dude, Rob Font, like Teddy Atlas says, set the table with the jab. We eat with the cross.
I was really impressed with Rob Font's discipline for 5 rounds.
He looked good, man. I don't hate my pick with Cody Garbrandt because I thought it was, with all the information that I had, I knew Rob Font was good. I just didn't know he was that good with his boxing and his striking. And I don't know, man. Cody Garbrandt, it seemed like after about halfway through the second round, early in the third round, it seemed like he was defeated. His body language just didn't seem right to me. I just don't think he had an answer for the jab. And I think that it played a factor in it. And I think you saw that.
So I have a question for you, and I'm not making excuses. Rob Font did. He had a great fight. Do you? I do wonder. And I don't think Cody's going to make this public. I do wonder, like, how much COVID affected his lungs and his cardio, because
It hit him hard. Yeah.
I know he had a bad case of it, and it did hit him hard. And then he had the pneumonia and everything. His gas tank just didn't look like, he made it like, I just look at like the way he fought Cruz for 5 rounds, and he looked so fresh for 5 rounds. And then Rob Font, like, he like looked just gassed after this, pretty much the second round on.
He was on his heels. He was on his bike the whole fight.
And they did say a couple things, right? He had some success when he'd get walking forward, but Rob Font did such a good job of making sure, I don't know. I mean, I'm not taking anything away, but you just wonder if there was more physically, like if his body just physically wasn't there yet to compete at that level. Only time will tell on that.
Yeah.
But Cody Garbrandt is still 29 years old. He's still only 29 years old. So don't tell me that he's freaking too many war. Like,
I don't see it. I don't think you'll ever see him up there again.
And that's fine. And maybe not. But I went at a guy really hard yesterday on Facebook that called him a glass chin, because dude, he took everything.
Yeah.
He took and this is why I'm saying you can't say that he's done. He took everything, including a head kick, ate a head kick, right? And he took it all, and he wore it, and he hung in there when, like you said, probably by the second round, we kind of knew it was over. And Cody's going to always have that one knockout power. I think that there is an underlying issue that we probably couldn't see on TV for him to perform the way he did. Not saying that he beats Rob Font or anything like that, not taking anything. I'm just saying, I think Cody Garbrandt is capable of more, because I just don't think his body physically looked where I've seen it in the past.
It could have very well, because when he was on Joe Rogan and talking about how sick he got from the COVID, I know people, it's hit my family pretty hard.
And he might not ever be the same again because of it. So that might be it. But like to say like, oh, he's been knocked out and this and that. I don't believe that, because we just watched him go 25 rounds, who Rob Font put Marlon Moraes out and didn't do it to Cody Garbrandt. It kind of makes me feel like, I'm like, something isn't adding up to be like, oh, Cody's just done, or his chin can't hold up anymore, or whatever. Like, he showed a ton of heart.
I don't know if I don't think it's his chin. We talk about it all the time on here, the mental aspect of the game. And when you lose 4 out of 5, he's lost 4 out of 5. He gets flatlined by Dillashaw twice. He gets flatlined by Pedro Munoz. Comes back, he knocks out Rafael Asensio, and then he gets dominated by Rob Font. It's like, mentally, where's he at mentally? Like, as a fighter, you're the fighter out of us.
Well,
mentally, where's this guy's head at? And he's looking back and thinking, damn, I've just been starched 4 out of 5 times. Starched.
If I'm Cody Garbrandt and I'm his team, you're obviously disappointed, but I'm going, okay, so you pointed out 4 out of his last 5 are losses, right?
Yeah.
I'm going, I dropped Dillashaw in our first fight.
He did.
And the bell saved him.
Yeah.
Okay. The second fight, my emotions got the better of me. I lost, right? But these are world championship fights.
Yeah.
You're losing at that level. Okay, that's fine. It's like the people that were saying, who saying whatever. You could say like, okay, so Tony, for example, he's 39, not 29, 39, but he's losing to Justin Gaethje, to Charles Oliveira, and now Benelli Dariush. Last I checked, Oliveira has a belt wrapped around his waist. Justin Gaethje's the number 2 contender in the world?
Yeah.
Behind Poirier, and Dariush is number 3. Those are his 3 losses. It's like, you can't be that upset about losing to those guys, right? Cody Garbrandt, same thing. I lost to TJ Dillashaw, who, when it's all said and done, very well could be the greatest bantamweight of all time when TJ's career is over. Pedro Munoz, I fought a dumb fight. You know, I got excited and I engaged in a brawl. Like, that was dumb. Knocks out a Sun Sao. That's a positive. And then in Rob Font, you lost to the number 3 guy in the world. One, you didn't engage in a brawl, and that's what everybody said, like, you had to fix, is not get into that. You did that. You started mixing in your wrestling, which you're a capable wrestler. You did that. You could just say, you know, I had one bad performance, and then I lost 3 times to the 2 of the top, 4 or 5 guys in the world.
Yeah, but where does he go? Where does he go from here, though?
Sean O'Malley called him out.
I don't like. He gets flat.
I hate that.
Sean O'Malley flatlines him.
Well, okay, let's not rush back.
Then what do you do, though? You're a top 5 guy.
He's not a top 5 guy right now.
Okay, he drops down. He's still a top 10. You're still going to keep him in the top 10, right? UFC's not going to drop him that far down. Well, then you're going to have to give.
There's winnable fights for him.
Marlon Moraes. Did they already fight?
No, that's a good fight.
There you go, Marlon Moraes.
Both of them are a little bit on a bad streak.
Yeah.
But they're both there. They're both big names.
Because Aldo's got Munoz, right?
Yep.
What about Edgar?
That's a good fight for him.
Edgar would be a good fight too.
He's on.
Are they training together though?
Yeah, probably.
Because Edgar's Mark Henry, right?
Yeah. So that one's not going to happen. Good call.
You got Murid Davashvili coming up.
I like the Marlon fight.
I like the Marlon fight too.
Dominic Cruz. Run it back with Dominic Cruz. That's fun.
I wouldn't hate that either.
That's fun.
Yeah, he needs a little bit of confidence builder if he's going to be.
Rivera. Jimmy Rivera is a good one for him.
Jimmy Rivera would be good too. He's 12 though. Do you drop all the way down to 12?
Well, fight a guy below you. Like, you've lost 4 out of 5. You're not really in a position to be picking and choosing your opponents, right? If they offer you a guy that's ranked below you, but he still has a number by you, absolutely.
So who does Font get? Is Font next in line?
Man, it's tough because the TJ Sandhagen fight is kind of the number 1 contender fight in Aljamain. This is what I think you do. If I'm Dana, if I'm Uncle Dana, and we all know I'm a great matchmaker, right?
You're right. You're right, Zach.
We like it. You let Cody or Sandhagen and Dillashaw fight, right? You let the winner of that fight for an interim title.
Okay.
Rob Font versus Sandhagen Dillashaw for an interim title. And then the winner of that fight can fight the winner of Jan Sterling whenever it happens. Because remember, Sterling's going to be out for a minute. He just got neck surgery. He's holding up the division right now. And you're not going to strip him because of the way they should have just vacated the title the way that it ended.
Yeah, they should have.
Because now it's on it, dude. I mean, Sterling probably isn't going to be able to fight till November, December.
Does Jan wait? Is Jan going to wait?
Or let Jan and Rob Font fight.
I like that.
For an interim title.
Font's a problem.
Did you hear Font said that Jan is an easier puzzle to solve than Aljamain Sterling?
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was interesting.
Because I don't think he is.
Yeah. So when Jan wins.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
But then Jan at least gets a belt wrapped back around his waist and gets pay-per-view points for the rematch with Sterling.
Fun stuff, man.
So Fiji talked about Barbosa calling out Max Holloway.
I like it. I like it. I don't hate it. I mean, what else are you gonna what else are you gonna do?
If you're Max, I'm chilling, dude.
You don't want none of that smoke?
No, I know Max is down to fight, and I actually think he's the style that him and Barbosa's fight of the night all day written all over it. Because neither of them have 0 quit in them, you know. But I do think Max is a level ahead of Barbosa, and Max has already earned his rematch with Volkanovski in my eyes. Again, they're going to do it again.
It could be Ortega.
Yeah, it could be Ortega.
It could very well be Ortega.
Which Max already kind of smoked him once too, but Ortega's obviously better.
But we haven't seen him against the resurgence of Ortega. Because after that fight, he came back and he looked freaking phenomenal.
Okay, I'm just handing out interim titles left and right. Let Max fight for a interim title. And dude, it's weird. Yair Rodriguez is still out. Zabit is talking about retiring because nobody will fight him or something. Like
Zabit's, he's gone. He's not.
They said
not even in the rankings.
Did they take him out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, I think it was a coach or somebody said that he's thinking about being done.
Yeah, Max all day, baby.
I think Max beats Barbosa, but I love Barbosa's mindset and where he's at, and I love the way that Barbosa does. It's an entertaining fight. I just think Max beats him.
So we got.
I still think Max is the greatest featherweight of all time. So it's just hard to pick against.
I can't argue that. We got no fights this weekend. What are we going to do, dude? No UFC fights this weekend. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to St. George with my family.
Well, it's a great time to go then, because there's no.
We have one championship in 4 days.
But then after that, we got Rosenstruck and Sakaya, Augusto Sakaya, Walt Harris, Marcin Tybura. Tom Breeze is on this card. I love Tom Breeze. That Miguel Baez is on there.
I like him a lot.
Tanner Bowser and Ilir Latifi's on there. Ooh, that's a good one.
Real quick, for those of you that aren't paying attention because they I don't know, hate Connor or whatever. UFC 264. Okay, Poirier McGregor, Gilbert Burns, Stephen Thompson, Sean O'Malley, Luis Smolka, Sean Brady, Kevin Lee, Ryan Hall, Ili Tapura. That's the main card. Get out of here. Jennifer Maia versus Jessica Ai. Great fight. Brad Tavares, Amir Akhmedov. Great fight at 185. Tai Tuivasa, Greg Hardy. Thank you. Trevin Giles for that Depricus Duplessis. Great fight. Yana Kutsukaya versus Irene Aldana. Great women's fight at 135. Like, I mean, that card.
Drew Dober, Brad Riddell.
Is that on that card too? It's not on the Topology one.
263?
264. This is 263.
Oh, I'm looking at 263.
Yeah, see, I'm already past 263. I'm looking.
Dude, don't even look. Dude, 263 is Izzy, Vittori, Figueiredo, Moreno, Paul Craig, Jamal Hill, Damian Maia, Bilal Muhammad, Leon Edwards, Nate Diaz. Dude, this card's stacked.
That card's stacked too.
Carlos Felipe, Jake Collier, Hakeem Doughty, Mavur Vivalov, Lauren Murphy, Jojo Calderwood.
I like that.
Drew Dober, Brad Riddell. Like, this is a great card.
Drew Dober, Brad Riddell's a great fight.
Your boy Eric Anders and Darren Stewart.
Yeah, boy.
Dude, we have some fire pay-per-views coming up. Uh-oh. Look at this, Zach.
My goal is to be the Justin Gaethje of the heavyweight division.
You're not very far away. If you keep performing like you did your last fight.
You're a big man to be that violent. That's terrifying, Fiji.
Well, I mean, if he does anything like he did his last fight, he's well on his way. We got to get Fiji on again before the 18th.
Oh, we will. Oh, we will.
Yeah.
He's on the list. I have a list on the wall. He's on the list of guys that got to get on. Real quick, love your take on Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fighting again. I thought it was Joshua. I thought that was the fight.
It should have been Joshua. I don't want to see that fight again, dude.
I don't need to see that.
It's gonna be the same, right? It's gonna be the same results.
I think Wilder gets knocked out faster this time.
And then he's gonna come up with another excuse. Like, I had a hangnail and it, scratched my glove, scratched the inside of my hand or something. Get comfortable.
I was gonna leave this alone, but I'm gonna say it. Fighters that make excuses after like multiple losses and always have every reason and it just nothing was their fault. Here's the thing. You can talk for reasons why you fought or why you lost. I'll take my loss as an example, right? The end result was a bad call by a referee. But I do have to own and take responsibility that I allowed myself to get in that position. Right? You know, like there has to be some accountability in there somewhere. Now, you could say, well, you know, the judge this or the ref that, but you know, but I could have done this and that. Like, I do want to hear some accountability, right? Of something you can do different if you're going to be talking about that. But people that just never can look in the mirror and admit any wrong on their own, and the only reason they lost is on other people, that's a problem.
That's a big problem. Yeah.
And I think you know what I'm talking about with this, but it's there's this narrative where it's just like, well, I'm great. I couldn't have just lost.
Oh, he lost.
You know, Deontay Wilder, I'm Deontay. I couldn't have just lost. My ref should have never thrown, or my corner should have never thrown in the towel. Dude, your corner could have thrown in the towel the round before that. You're getting
really could
smashed.
Yeah.
And Tyson Fury is living rent-free in Deontay Wilder's head now and has been for over 2 years. What do you think Tyson Fury is going to do to you this time? He's going to knock him out inside 3 rounds.
I think he will. I think he'll knock him out this time. I don't see Deontay Wilder doing anything. Fury's he already knows. He already felt the power. There's nothing Wilder can do. Nothing. At least Joshua is a boxer.
Oh, I was take my money. Like, I was so pumped for that fight.
It's funny. Yeah, we were talking in there's, I can't remember who it was. We were going back and forth on the boxing fights. There is some good boxing fights out there. You just kind of got to dig for them. There was a good one Saturday. They just don't promote
the names that well.
They don't. That freaking fight with Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor on Saturday. That was a good fight.
See, I didn't watch it.
You got Pacquiao, Earl Spence. I like that fight.
I think Earl Spence pieces him up.
I think so too. I think
Pacquiao's just a little too, like 4 or 5 years ago.
That's a different story. But Spence is just on another level, man. I want Spence and Crawford.
Elite.
Spence and Crawford is who I want to see.
Yeah, I think that's who everybody wants to see.
They got Teofimo Lopez fighting George Kambosos Jr., which
that's fun because Teofimo is fun.
Teofimo's going to knock him out. He's like a 2,000-1 favorite. That's what I don't like about boxing.
Yeah,
it's because every fight, it's the huge disparity. I don't know.
Hey, just so everybody knows, we have Tyler Diamond in the PFL who's fighting in 17 days on the PFL, 1-0 in the PFL, fighting in 17, coming on this afternoon, a little after 1 o'clock.
Yes.
And then who else do we have?
We have coming up right after Tyler Diamond, we are going to have, let me pull up my notes. We have Christopher Marcus. He fights out of Vegas. He's with the Roman Ishbel.
Yeah.
So we'll have Christopher Marcus coming on, and then we'll have Kyle Evans coming on from Beaver Kai, who's fighting on the Steel Fist Fight Promotions. Can't wait to ask Kyle about Beaver Kai.
Heck yeah.
He's the guy we were talking about with his opponent, Zack Hamilton, on Friday. So we get to talk to Kyle and find out what's going on with Beaver Kai down in Southern Utah.
I like it.
All right.
Cool.
Oh, all right, guys. We're out of here. Thanks for listening. Luke, Jeff, you guys are always here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.